This is the best L-bracket you can get for the Nikon Z6 III. And after an entire year of searching for the perfect L-bracket, I finally found it. But if you're a landscape photographer, this is a must-have to add to your Z6 III. Okay, wait, what exactly is an L-bracket for? Well, an L-bracket is a tool you put at the bottom of your camera that allows you to use it natively in both vertical and horizontal orientation, making it easier to grab compositions and frame up your shot more consistently. Because without an L-bracket, you normally have to put your camera into horizontal orientation, then tip it over to use it in vertical. But having an L-bracket takes that away completely and allows you to use your camera in vertical orientation natively without thinking twice about it. And although this small rig L-bracket does accomplish that goal, it's so much more than that. But before I dive deeper into this L-bracket, I also want to mention that Small Rig did send this to me for review. However, they didn't pay me to say anything in particular, and they'll be watching this video at the same time that you are. With that being said, let's talk about this L-bracket. Just like any other L-bracket, this one is arcaswiss compatible on both the horizontal and vertical axis, which means that if you have a tripod that is also arcaswiss compatible, then you can put your camera into vertical and horizontal orientation natively without needing a plate at the bottom. But what's special about this L-bracket in particular is that you can use the flipping screen while still having the L-bracket on. This is huge and is honestly a major reason why this L-bracket is so good paired with the Z6 III. Since this camera doesn't use a tilting screen, you have to flip it out in order to see the screen when the camera is low to the ground. And thankfully, this L-bracket compensates for this by offering a cutout section that's perfect for giving you space to tilt the screen roughly 135 degrees both up and down. Of course, it's not a perfect 180 degrees, but it's more than enough to get a multitude of angles when the camera is low to the ground. And let's say you wanted to film yourself and see the screen from the front of the camera, you can absolutely do that as well, as the L-bracket doesn't interfere with the screen. One thing to be a little cognizant of when using the screen is that you have to take the screen out and pre-tilt it before putting it into the slot of the L-bracket, because if you don't, then it'll get caught in the bracket. It's not a huge deal, but definitely something to keep in mind when using this L-bracket. This setup essentially allows you to use the screen with as much free reign as an L-bracket would allow for, and makes it easy to use with minimal interference. But you might look at the side of the L-bracket and be a bit concerned when putting the camera into vertical orientation. And I can't blame you. I mean, just take a look at this gap. It's absolutely huge. So what is it like using it in vertical orientation? For starters, the L-bracket would definitely be more secure if there wasn't this huge gap for the screen. But for the most part, it's just fine without it. I found that you can simply attach the L-bracket to the middle of the tripod and it'll lock in pretty securely without much of an issue. It has very minimal give and won't move around much when you're using it in vertical orientation, and it's very secure. You just need to make sure that it's centered where both sides of the L-bracket have enough room to lock into the tripod. It's quite a nice experience using it in vertical orientation, which is nice because this is a major part of using an L-bracket. Something I did find when using this L-bracket with certain tripod ball heads is that the screen will get stuck and not move past a certain point. To be fair though, this isn't really an issue with the L-bracket, but more or less an issue with using a flipping screen in vertical orientation paired with certain ball heads. But Small Rig thankfully came to the rescue, as you can use this L-bracket in extended mode, which will extend the vertical plate out and give you enough room to use the L-bracket with the flipping screen in vertical orientation, giving you plenty of space to bring the screen down lower and see it at different angles. Granted, you can't put the screen all the way down, but you can definitely get quite close. This is honestly a great touch and makes it so that the Z6 III is able to be used with a variety of different ball heads. And I also found that when using the L-bracket in extended mode, it stays very secure and stable without a ton of give. Something that Small Rig did a really good job on when making this L-bracket is that they made these ports on the side very accessible. They recessed the access point by having the metal graduate down the side of the L-bracket, making it far easier to access these ports without much of a struggle. Because in other L-brackets I've used, it was such a problem trying to get out the ports whenever I wanted to access them. But this is definitely a welcome change and makes the experience so much nicer. So let's say we're done using the camera in vertical orientation and we flip it over into horizontal. We'll find this symbol at the bottom where it'll tell you where the center of the camera sensor is. It's nice for helping you align the camera with the center of the tripod to help you get a more consistent composition. And using this camera in horizontal orientation is very pleasant as well, offering a very secure platform that won't move around a ton while shooting and gives me tons of confidence when using it. If we take a look at the bottom of the L bracket, however, there's a couple things that I want to point out that's important. First off, they give you a built-in tool to screw in the 1/4" screws at the bottom of the L bracket. Both the part to screw in the L bracket into the camera and the other to extend out the bracket. It attaches magnetically and slides in to lock into place, making it incredibly difficult to unintentionally knock out. And having the tool built in is amazing. And this one being magnetic and locking into place just means I'll lose it less. It's a fantastic solution, and I'm really glad they designed it this way. Now when you're attaching the L bracket to the camera, there's a part at the bottom where you can attach it into the hole at the bottom of the camera, which helps the L bracket from coming loose and spinning around the camera. It's just another part of the design that was very well thought through. And if we take a look at the battery compartment and try to open it, we can see that it's virtually impossible to open it. This is because of the design, and is most likely because the bracket is contoured so well to the camera, which is why they designed the bottom of the grip to swing open like a door and give full access to the battery compartment. This just makes too much sense and helps to kill two birds with one stone. Figuratively, of course. Small rig, please don't hurt any birds. The door will lock into place pretty well and takes a bit of force to pull open, which is just fine since I'd rather it be tight than too loose. If we take a look around the L bracket, we will find 7 1/4" threads, perfect for putting a variety of video accessories onto the camera if that's your jam. I personally don't use it, but this adds another level of versatility to the bracket to go between both photos and video, adding more options to be used depending on what setup you want to go for. The final aspect that I want to talk about is the ergonomics of this L bracket. This is easily the best part of it, and I think this is really where this L bracket excels at. The L bracket itself makes the Nikon Z6 III a bit taller, about 1/2 inch give or take, which is perfect for the Nikon Z6 III because although it is better than the original Z6, I still would have preferred this grip to be a little longer. My pinky does feel a tad cramped, which is where this L bracket comes in to solve the issue. With the L bracket on, the grip is now at a perfect length to comfortably fit my entire hand without a ton of leeway. And honestly, even if you didn't want to use this L bracket for landscape photography, but you did want to have that extended grip for the Z6 III, I think this is actually a really good option for that. Small Rig also did a great job when it comes to the bracket's contouring of the L bracket to the camera. It's designed beautifully while being very uniform relative to the Z6 III. Just take a look at the mount. The L bracket accommodates for it to give a seamless transition between the mount and the metal. The contour design also fits well with the grip, being very comfortable and feeling really natural to hold without any separation between the grip and the bracket. It's so much more than a simple L bracket, and it integrates really well with the camera itself, which is what makes this L bracket different from a lot of other L brackets. The metal that the L bracket used is also very nice and well built. It's got a bit of weight to it and definitely makes the camera feel a bit heavier. It adds about 155 grams, which isn't an insane amount of weight, but is definitely something that you can feel when handling and using the camera. It's nothing crazy, but definitely something that I wanted to point out. But this Z6 III L bracket from Small Rig is actually pretty amazing, and the best one you can get for this camera at the moment. This bracket is what I'd recommend Z6 III photographers get if you're in the market for one. And for $49.99, it's actually priced really well and quite good value, considering what you're getting in such a small package. But what do you think about the Small Rig L bracket? Is this something that makes sense for you as a photographer? Let me know down in the comment section down below. Anyways guys, thank you so much for experiencing the world with me today, and if you like this video, check this one out right here.